world of the Cuban mangrove also has its demons. This is the Cuban crocodile, an armored-clad survivor from prehistoric times, an endemism of Cuban waters and the most merciless hunter in the mangrove forest. Both in and out of the water, there are fearsome armor-plated hunters, and not just crocodiles. Because beneath the water, the mangrove swamps of Cuba conceal a fish of which it is said that it has the mouth, the skin, and the soul of a crocodile. Lurking among the roots, a manjuari, a fish from a line which reached its zenith during the Mesozoic era, waits immobile for unsuspecting prey to come by. Its large toothed mouth, its primitive fins, and its armor-plated body make it a formidable predator. So formidable, in fact, that the majuari, or alligator gar as it is also known, is feared even by young crocodiles. But when Cuban crocodiles reach adulthood, no one except man poses a threat to them. In their domains, all other living beings are their prey: fish, amphibians and reptiles, birds and mammals. The Cuban crocodile makes no distinctions. It is an expert hunter, and for it, any movement means an invitation to hunt. Jacanas and egrets search for small prey just a short distance from a crocodile. While they have him in sight, the birds are unafraid. In a direct attack, they would simply fly off with no problem. But when one of these saurians submerges, it's a different matter entirely, and so it's best to make good your escape. Today, Cuban crocodiles are found only in two small areas: the Zapata marshes in the southwest of the main island and the Lanier marshes on the island of Juventud, and that makes them the crocodiles with the most restricted distribution on the planet. Here in Zapata, the breeding season has arrived and the adults gather together, marking the dominant hierarchy with their raised tails and open jaws in an impressive display of strength. These displays will decide the order and the right to mate, and no male will give in easily. With several animals together in the same pool, conflicts between them are inevitable. The threatening mating postures don't normally have further consequences, but if one of the crocodiles manages to hunt down some prey, the tension of the courtships is compounded by the natural predatory aggressiveness, and war is unleashed among the dragons. Though the combats are spectacular, major wounds are a rare occurrence. After a few sporadic confrontations, it is clear who is the dominant male. Now the pool has its king, and the monarch imposes his rules. After the combats, the victorious male joins a receptive female. She tempers his aggressiveness by raising her snout as a sign of submission. Until she manages to calm him down, the excited male could even attack her. When the male and the female have accepted each other, the courtship, reminiscent of a dance, begins. Then the female dives down, expelling air through her mouth and nose, and the male mounts her in a long copulation, which can last for up to 15 minutes. For land animals, life in the Cuban mangrove forest is not easy, and even less if you can't fly, and have just brought into the world a litter of tiny, inexpert rodents. To keep its young safe, this jutia seeks the protection of the maze of corridors of a dry mango trunk. Even when she breastfeeds her litter, she remains on the alert, thanks to the lateral positioning of her nipples. In the mangrove forest, lowering your guard for even an instant can mean death. And though the crocodiles, her worst enemies, can't reach her here, the jutias have other predators, and the Cuban boa, or maja, is one of the most fearsome. While her young are feeding, the jutia remains motionless, concentrating, alert to any sign of potential danger. Guided by its olfactory tongue, the serpent locates the den and changes course. It knows that if it can surprise the litter, it will easily be able to catch one of the young. But luckily, Mother Jutia also has an excellent sense of smell, and from the entrance to the burrow, she can detect the slight movement of the passing snake. The jutia waits, not wanting to abandon the refuge unnecessarily if the snake is simply passing by. Unfortunately for her, the boa remains fixed on its objective. With an infinitely flexible body, the intricate trunk represents no obstacle for the snake. But as soon as it enters through one of the holes, the jutia leads her children out through the emergency exit, and the family makes good its escape. Shortly afterwards, when the boa reaches their lair, all that remains is the musky smell of the rodent's fear and nervousness. For the jutias of the mangrove forest, moving across the ground represents a constant risk. They are perfectly able to climb, run, or swim, but the waters of Sabata always contain vigilant eyes, and even when you feel you are safe, death might be right behind you, ready to pounce.